Building AI agents is becoming one of the most valuable skills in the market right now. Whether you're a business owner or freelancer, you can make automation workflows that are going to simplify your business, get you more clients, and help you make more money. In this video, we're going to be covering Zapier, which is one of the best automation tools out there. We're going to learn from scratch how to build automations, and the project we're going to be building is an outreach agent. If you're a freelancer of any sort, you know that you need to reach out to a lot of clients, offering your services and asking them to hire you. This workflow is going to automate that entire process, and the best part is Zapier is extremely easy to use. We're going to build our agent without writing any code and without messing with any nodes. So without any further ado, let's get started with the video. All right, now let's get started with learning how to use Zapier. Now, once you create your account, you're going to see this screen right here. Now, there's going to be two main ways to create workflows or agents. The first option is going to be using the copilot, which is going to be very easy. You're just going to describe what agent you want and what it needs to do, and it's automatically going to do about 80% of the work for you. You're just going to have to make some tweaks. The other option is to start from scratch, and you can basically create a Zap, create tables, interfaces, chatbots, and Canvas. So these are some different options that you have. So Zaps are basically workflows that perform tasks automatically. And if you want to automate tasks for, let's say, some data, some tables that you have, you can use tables for that. Interfaces are for connecting apps, forms, that kind of stuff. And chatbots are pretty self-explanatory. They're used for making AI-powered chatbots. But to be honest, this copilot feature is what really separates Zapier from other automation tools. It's so simple to create automations. You don't really need to know anything about, how automations work or anything like that. So the project that we're going to be building in this video is going to be sort of like an outreach agent. Imagine if you are, let's say, a video editor and you want to find clients, right? What you can do is you can basically find different YouTubers and you can sort of send them personalized emails asking them if they want to, hire you as a video editor. So the idea behind this workflow is going to be that we have a Google Sheets file, and you can see that this Google Sheets file has a name, website link, and an email. So let's say you add a name of any YouTuber that you want, right? Or any client that you want. What Zapier is going to do is that it's going to take all that information, it's going to create a personalized email, and it's automatically going to send it to this email right here. So we're going to be building that automation from scratch. Now, obviously, a lot of you guys won't be video editors. So for example, you are, let's say, a content creator and you're looking for sponsors. You can use this automation to ask different brands to sponsor you. Alternatively, let's say you are a freelancer of any sort and you want to, just maximize your outreach, you can use this automation to do that, right? So overall, no matter what you do, this automation is going to be very useful. And the way you build it is actually pretty simple. So we're going to start typing in the copilot. When I enter a name, website, and an email into a Google Sheets file, you should automatically send a personalized email to that person introducing me and offering my video editing services. Now, what I just did was I basically just described what I want the agent to do, what I want the workflow to do, and I'm going to click send. Now we're going to let copilot do its thing and I'll see when it gives me a response. So now, as you can see, it basically gave me a proposed system of how this workflow should work. So you can see that the trigger is going to be Google Sheets, new spreadsheet row, and it fires when you add a new row with name, website, and email. And the action is going to be Gmail. Basically, it's going to send an email. It's going to send a personalized email using the spreadsheet data. So what it's going to do is that in the subject, it's going to write, a personalized subject. It's going to say video editing services for the name and website. And it's also going to personalize the email body according to what the name and details are of that person. So we can use this, or what we can do is we can ask it to use ChatGPT to basically modify the whole email and make it super personalized for that person. So what I'm going to ask is, we need to make the email highly personalized for each recipient by including details specific to their niche and area of work. Now we can use, use ChatGPT for this, okay? Now, I didn't really need to tell it that it needs to use ChatGPT, but I'm pretty sure it would still come up with that idea. But what we want to do is we want to basically even add, some specific details. For example, I make videos about let's say AI tools, right? The email should say something like, oh, I saw your video about, this specific tool, or, make it very customized and very personalized. So what it's going to do is that it's going to basically, add another action here. Conversation with the assistant generates personalized email content based on recipient's niche and area of work. So that's basically what's going to happen. It's going to use ChatGPT to write an email. So, okay, I think that should be pretty good. Now, what we can do is we can just click continue with Zap editor. Once we do that, is going to take us to this Zap workflow. And you can see that we have a couple of nodes here. We don't really need to do anything here. If you were making a Zap from scratch, we would need to, add the nodes and set them up. But in this case, it's going to do everything for us. we are going to have to obviously log into our Google account to access Google Sheets and Gmail, of course, and also connect our OpenAI API as well, because obviously we're using ChatGPT. So on the left, as you can see, it says to sign in to Google Sheets. So I'm just going to do that. All right, so I just signed in and now it's going to connect my account automatically. In other tools, a lot of the times what you have to do is you have to, connect API keys. You have to go to Google Cloud, get the API, do a whole bunch of different things just to have that work. But in this case, it automatically does all that for you. And now we're going to have to sign into ChatGPT. Now you are going to have to, load some credits to your OpenAI account. So I'm just going to sign in. And as you can see, it's asking for our API key. Now, getting an OpenAI API key is pretty simple. I'm just going to show you guys the process right now. So we're going to, just let it be here for a second, and we're going to go and search for OpenAI API. Once we search that on the internet, we're going to go to API platform, and then we can go ahead and log into the API platform. So once you sign into your OpenAI account, you're going to have to, load some credits and stuff. So in order to do that, you can go to settings, and then we're going to go down to billing. You can, add to credit balance. And I think you're going to have to add at least $5 for it to work. But don't worry, $5 is going to last you a really long time because, it doesn't use that much money. I mean, given that you're using the cheaper models. But once you do that, you can go to API keys. And here you can just generate a new secret key. And we can just select the default project and create secret key. So I'm just going to copy this key and I'm going to go back to Zapier. And now we're back in Zapier. Basically, it just went past that ChatGPT step for some reason. So we're going to go back to it in just a bit, but we can just sign into Gmail first. And once that is done, it should, okay, that works. But, obviously it says that the ChatGPT account connection didn't work. So we can just click this ChatGPT node right there. And then we can go ahead and sign in like that. And here I'm just going to paste in my API key, and organization ID is optional. So I'm just going to say yes, continue. And now our API key has been successfully added. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if we go to the left-hand side, is going to tell us all the things that it has done. And it's going to tell us the next steps as well. So obviously we need to connect ChatGPT, which we already did. And then we need to configure Google Sheets. Now, obviously it did add, the node and everything, but we need to tell it which Google Sheet to use, which sheet file to use. So we're going to do that in just a second. And then we can obviously modify, the ChatGPT prompt, but it's going to do that pretty much for us. So let's go to Google Sheets first, and then we can select spreadsheet. And here's going to show you all the spreadsheets that you have currently in your Google Sheets account. So I'm just going to select Zapier test because this is the Google Sheet that is right there. And now if I go back, if I select worksheet, that's just the only worksheet that we have, and then click continue. So we can just test this trigger to make sure that it works. And it does, perfect. Now we can go to ChatGPT, and either we can add all this information ourselves, or we can just ask it to do it for us. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, fill in the prompts on the ChatGPT node. I have added my API key. Perfect. So now we're going to wait for it to complete, and it should be done in just a bit. And to be honest, this whole workflow is pretty fascinating for me, because if you go back even a few months, this kind of workflow used to take, quite a bit of time, and you used to have to set up all the stuff yourself, all the prompts, everything. But now it just does everything for you. So that is pretty cool. But if you click this ChatGPT node now, you can see that it has filled all the information that you wanted to add. And then instructions is done. And I think everything else should be good as well. Now we can just test this step to see if it works. And let's see if it gets a valid response from GPT. And then we're going to test the Gmail response as well. So I think it worked. Let's see. Okay, that is working. And now I think the Gmail node has been connected as well. So we can just click test step. And now I should get an email on my email account. Let's see, because this email that I had is my own email. So I'm just going to go ahead and check my email if I got something. And there you go. You can see that we have a brand new email right there. If I open it, and you can see the email looks pretty good. Now let me go back and show you some, tweaks that you can do, or some, things that you can just modify, because, this gave you a very good starting point. Now you can obviously tweak it yourself. You can modify it. So let's go to ChatGPT here. And as you can see, we have a lot of different settings here. So the first thing I want to change is the model. So the model, you can see that we have selected GPT-4o, but that tends to be slightly on the expensive side. So what we can also do is we can just say 4o mini. I think 4o mini is a much cheaper model, but you can obviously check the pricing on OpenAI's website. So if you select a cheaper model in emails, generally the results are pretty similar, but you're going to use lesser credits. So that's going to be good. And yeah, you can even change your name. For example, for me, it says Abdul Nafe, but obviously you can modify it. Yeah, so those are some of the things that you can change. Now, I'm not going to be, going into too much detail on how you can sort of play around with the temperature and these values. I mean, obviously, if you know what these are, then you probably wouldn't even need to watch this video. But, let me know if you guys want more advanced tutorials, I can definitely do that as well. But after that, we are just sending the email. If you want to CC it to someone, so for example, every email that you send, you want to like, let's say BCC it to yourself so that you can also see the email. You can add your own email, and you can even change the from value. So right now I just have this one email account logged in. You can add multiple if you want, and you can choose whichever one you want to add. And yeah, you can even change the from name, reply to, and a lot of these different options that you have, you can definitely change. Okay, so that is pretty basic. And also, instead of like going ahead and changing things yourself, you can even ask Copilot to change things for you. So that's going to be that's pretty much going to do the exact same thing. But yeah, that was a basic introduction to using Zapier. I really hope you guys learned something new. I really hope you guys enjoyed as well. If you want a more advanced tutorial, a full course on this, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I will be more than happy to make that. And yeah, if you want to try Zapier for yourself, be sure to click the link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.